Hey guys, Shorewarz here, and today we're playing the Triforce Cup on Mirror in the 150cc class. So everything's backwards and kind of inside out. Waluigi's gonna jump out to a nice little lead here right at the start. But today, in this video, I'd like to focus on... I'm just gonna basically give out a couple blue shell pro tips, if you will. There's gonna be an example in this race on the third lap that'll come up soon that I'll point out and talk about a little bit, and then there's another instance in the last race on the Hyrule Cup, or on the Hyrule Circuit race, where I basically deal with the blue shell in an interesting way. Had a nice little jump fail right there, straight into a wall, and I'm lucky I didn't fall off the edge and die. I actually got lucky again because when I got struck by the lightning bolt, I actually immediately landed on one of those boost pads. And that's ideal because it gets you back up to top speed almost instantaneously. So the lightning bolt didn't have as much effect on me as it did the rest of the characters on this track. So here I am, just kind of making my way through this second lap, trying to avoid these bats. They actually do hit your cart occasionally. But not nearly as often as they did back on the Wii. So that's a nice improvement that they've made on this particular track. It seemed like you almost always got hit by those bats when you went through the center of that cave. But now it just happens a little more randomly. So finishing off lap 2 here, and as we cross the finish line, you'll see that the person in last place is going to get a blue shell. First, the red shell is going to come. I'm going to block it with my green shell. I'm going to get coins, and I use the coins right there, which is a mistake. Even though I have 10 coins, I should have saved that item. I get hit by the blue shell right there. Luckily, I managed to pick up 3 coins right away and max out at 10. But technically, I should have held on to those coins and then used them after I got hit by the blue shell. But that's really the only reason why you'd want to keep the coins around. And frankly, I find the coins to be one of the weaker items in the game, so I tend to just get rid of them almost right away. So you want to try to max out at 10 coins if possible to keep your acceleration high. Right now I only have 4 coins, and we're going into the last lap, or the last few corners of the last lap, so unfortunately I'm going to finish this match, or this race, with only 6 coins and a few style points by blowing the horn right there at the very end, which could have blocked that blue shell. So heading into the second race, it's going to be the reverse, or the mirror version of Rainbow Road, the Super Nintendo track of yore. And I basically pull out to a decent lead in this particular race, and it's almost over before it even begins. And part of that's because I managed to do a really good job of drifting around these corners, building up sparks. You can see I've got 8 coins now, just a few more to max out at 10. But I do a pretty good job of jumping right at the apex of those waves. So you can see when these guys slam down, if you jump at the right time, rather than losing coins, you'll actually pick up a nice little extra boost. So I pretty much do that on every slam throughout this race, I think, except for the very last lap. I missed one of them, but if you can do that, you avoid being slowed down, and you avoid losing coins, and you manage to get a nice little speed boost. So all around, good stuff. You can see I'm cutting those corners pretty close. I'm not too worried about falling off the edge. And you always have to keep your eyes ahead of you on this course to see when that thwomp is falling down and try to time it. But basically, if the one on the right drops, I go to the right side, and vice versa. So I'm just keeping an eye to see like which thwomp is going to fall down first, and then I'm just driving toward that one. In this case, it's just one, so I just stay off to the side, of course. But on these parts where there's 2 different thwomps, right here I'm sort of waiting. Okay, it's the right one, and then I go to the right. So that's the best way to deal with that. Obviously, you don't want to touch those things because they will take you down immediately. So that's going to wrap up the second race and give me 30 points. And it's going to bring us right into the third race on Ice Outpost, the new track from this DLC Pack 1. kind of cool to see Link driving a cart. He looks a little big for that cart, actually. His knees are kind of sticking up in the air. But anyway, it's neat to see him driving around in the new DLC also. I haven't messed with the new characters too much. I always use Toad because I find that he is a smaller target. And I'm a big Toad fan anyway. So I always use Toad, and I almost never use any other characters. I just find that he's a lighter character, and he gets to a higher acceleration faster than everybody else. And when you're getting knocked around the map, or knocked around the course, I want to get back up to speed as soon as possible. So that's why I use Toad a lot. But Toad or Koopa Troopa, I think everybody knows. Those were the two top racers from the old school Mario Kart games. So at this point, I'm in 5th place, and I'm a little frustrated. You can see me honking my horn, but I luck out and I get a boomerang. So once I get on a straightaway here, I'm going to try to use it to get the next guy ahead of me, and I just miss. Looks like it's actually Koopa Troopa. On the second throw, I push him off to the side, but I'm too busy staring at him getting knocked off the road, and I managed to smash into the wall. So I'm still in 5th place now, and this is getting a little desperate because it's the second lap already. I luck out here because Koopa Troopa actually, well, he's still in the lead at this point, but Link's right in front of me. I'm throwing everything I've got at him, and I just can't hit him with anything, unfortunately. But for some reason, Koopa Troopa just runs out of gas, and I decide to follow Link up this ramp here. Max out at 10 coins, and I pass up Link, who also runs out of gas, apparently. And from here, I'm just not going to look back. Oh, wait. Koopa Troopa gets the Piranha Plant. Catches me from behind unexpectedly. But now I've got 3 banana peels. The dangerous 3 banana peels. I actually preferred when the 3 banana peels would line up behind you rather than circling around you. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I find that when the banana peels are right behind you, it's easier to snake them along, and you can kind of crash them into the guy next to you easier. When they're circling around you, you kind of have to time it, and you can actually get hit by an item in between those spaces, so that's just my personal preference. Final race now of the Triforce Cup on Mirror 150cc. And fittingly, it looks like Link actually takes the lead on this course right away. I tried to knock him off the course there, but as I pick up some gems, I'm going to power slide nicely, and bam, I get hit by that red shell. Didn't see that coming. So now I'm in 4th place right off the bat on the first lap. So I'm going to try to take the inside here. I see that these gems are being activated, and that means that the jump is activated, so I can take that as a nice little shortcut, but it doesn't really pay off. And in frustration, I shoot my red shell at Koopa Troopa, who has that Piranha Plant again. So now I'm just trying to catch these 2nd and 3rd place guys, getting some nice power slides through those turns, and I have this mushroom, so I'm going to try out this shortcut here in the middle of the field, and I just completely whiff on hitting that jump. But so I didn't get the question mark block there. But it did actually cut the course for me, and I managed to take 1st place. So now just kind of floating around, trying to keep my lead. Let's see what the next item is going to be. Try to activate these gems. I managed to get the first and the last one, and the second one was hit by one of the computer players. So now I'm just playing some defense with my green turtle shell. We'll see if that pays off. Trying to slide through these turns, and I noticed there are bats in that section too, and I'm not sure if you can actually get hit by those bats, but that's something to be aware of. And sure enough, here comes a blue shell. Now this is what I was talking about. You notice how I came to a complete stop right before the question mark block? It's because I knew the blue shell was coming, and I wanted to make sure that I did a few things. Number one, I slowed down so that the person behind me caught up, and they were actually hit by the blue shell as well. In this case, it was Link. So Link got hit by the blue shell, I got hit by the blue shell, but we're both basically tied for 1st at that point. Now, because I'm behind the question mark block, I can pick up an item after getting hit by the blue shell. So it's sort of making the best of a bad situation. So that's another quick little pro tip, if you will, Mario Kart pro tip. as I mess up my power slide and run into a rock. Almost gave up first place here, but Waluigi doesn't have enough to catch me. So that's going to do it for this Triforce Cup. I finished with 60 points in first place on the mirror mode, and you can see that it is a little more challenging on mirror. This actually took me, I think, a few more tries than it did on normal, but I end up with the 3 stars, and that's going to do it. I even get a nice little vehicle customization at 2,200 coins. So, guys, thanks for watching this video. Feel free to follow me on Twitter at Shorewarz, and I'll see you in the next video very soon.